And these children did not come from one place. They came from Chicago, from Oklahoma, from Missouri, tribal lands in the Muskogee Creek Nation.
Let me ask you something. Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling confused, like somehow everything got turned around on you? Maybe you started knowing exactly what happened, but by the end, you were questioning your own memory. If that's ever happened to you, congratulations. You've experienced manipulation without even realizing it. And the truth is, it happens far more often than most people think. Manipulators are sneaky, and their tactics are often subtle, slow, and almost invisible at first. The problem is, many people don't even know what to look for. Manipulation doesn't always involve yelling, threats, or obvious lies. Most of the time, it's hidden in everyday interactions. And once you start noticing the patterns, it becomes shocking how often it's happening around you. That's why today, we're going to break down the most common manipulation tactics people use so you can recognize them, protect yourself, and take control of your interactions.
Authorities say a network of residential brothels had been operating quietly across multiple cities. People were arriving for short visits. Cash was changing hands, and advertisements were appearing online, directing buyers to the same locations.
The first tactic is gaslighting. Gaslighting is when someone tries to make you doubt your own memory or perception of reality. You might clearly remember what happened, but they insist it never happened. You're imagining things, they say, or you always misunderstand. Over time, this repeated denial starts making you question your own judgment, and that is exactly what manipulators want. Confusion gives them control.
Cars were arriving throughout the day and late into the night. Visitors would enter the house, stay for a short period of time, and then leave. Sometimes another vehicle would arrive only minutes later.
The second tactic is guilt tripping. This is when someone pressures you into doing what they want by making you feel responsible for their feelings. They might say, "I guess I'll just handle everything myself," or "After all I've done for you." The goal is to make you feel guilty enough to comply, even if what they're asking isn't fair. Many people fall for this because they want to avoid conflict or hurting someone's feelings, but guilt should never be used as a tool for control. The third tactic is playing the victim. This is when someone constantly positions themselves as the one who has been wronged, even when they are the ones causing problems. By making themselves the victim, they shift attention away from their actions and toward your sympathy. Suddenly, the conversation is no longer about accountability or solving the issue. It's about comforting them.
When you see them, they vanish, they scatter, they morph, they change into the nice lady down the street, or her uncle, his boss, her boyfriend. They live among us, and so do their victims.
The fourth tactic is love bombing. At first, it can feel amazing. They overwhelm you with attention, compliments, and promises about a perfect future. Constant messages. It can feel like they care more than anyone else ever has. Once the connection is formed, the behavior may change, leaving you confused and trying to regain that early approval. The fifth tactic is isolation. Manipulators often try to separate you from your support system, friends, family, even colleagues. They might criticize the people around you, question their motives, or make you feel guilty for spending time with them. Over time, you become more reliant on the manipulator for emotional support. And when your perspective narrows, it's much harder to recognize what's really happening. Another common tactic is shifting blame. This happens when someone refuses to take responsibility for their actions and instead makes it seem like everything is your fault. Over time, this can wear down your confidence and make you feel like you are always in the wrong. Manipulators use this tactic to stay in control while avoiding accountability for their behavior. Then there's creating urgency. This happens when someone pressures you to make quick decisions, saying things like, "You have to decide now," or "This opportunity will disappear if you wait." By rushing you, they prevent you from thinking clearly, analyzing the situation, or considering your own needs. This tactic works because when we feel pressured, we're far more likely to comply without fully understanding the consequences. Finally, we have the silent treatment. Instead of talking things through, a manipulator may withdraw communication entirely to punish or control you. They ignore messages, refuse to engage, or create long periods of silence after a disagreement. This can leave you anxious, confused, or desperate to fix the situation. Healthy communication doesn't work this way. It's about discussion, not emotional punishment. So what's the takeaway here? Manipulation doesn't always look dramatic. It often hides in everyday conversations, small interactions, and subtle emotional shifts. Recognizing these patterns gives you the power to protect yourself and set healthy boundaries. Awareness is your first line of defense, and it's something everyone can develop. Next time a conversation leaves you feeling confused, pressured, or drained, pause and reflect. That uneasy feeling is your mind recognizing a pattern that doesn't feel right. Trust it. You don't have to be a psychologist to spot manipulation, but by staying aware, asking questions, and trusting your instincts, you can protect yourself and take control. Because the more people understand these tactics, the harder it becomes for manipulators to succeed, and that's how you take your power back. We're here to raise awareness on sex trafficking. Your voice matters. Join us.